Oh, hi, Mark. What do you think the chances are that there's alcohol in that poltergeist cup? Pretty good? Pretty good chances? Is that what you think? Believe it or not, it's my first drink. Today. Not like in general. Uh, anyway, I'm recording in a new location, and I'm happy to report that this location is my very own house. Dad, I did it. Um, yeah, I have one of these now. That's pretty sick, right? Um, that's not what this video is about. This video is about Mirrors, a 2000 something or other movie. I think it's like 2009, 2011. Man, I sure wish that I had done even a tiny shred of research before doing this. I watched this movie last night, and I had seen it before, but I hadn't seen it in a while. And I'm sorry, it's going to be really echoey in here because there is not shit in here. Because I don't own a damn thing. Yeah, I don't own anything. I mean, a few things, but like not enough to not make it echoey. That's for damn sure. Um, anyway, I had seen the film before, but I hadn't seen it in a long time. And the last time that I saw it, I was pretty drunk. And I was with a friend, and we talked through like the entire movie. And I kind of remembered the movie being trash. But I'm happy to report that's not the case. Mirrors 2, I think, is the one that's trash because we watched 1 and 2 back to back. I also apologize if you can hear my dog walking around on the hardwood. He's got little claws on his feet, and the hardwood makes him clickety clack. But anyway, so Mirrors stars Kiefer Sutherland, and that's the only actor whose name I know in this film. If I were any kind of competent individual, I would have researched the other actors. But guess who isn't competent? This guy. So I don't know the other actors, but I'm sure they're all lovely people. But Kiefer Sutherland's in this movie, so there you go. And then it was directed by Alexander Aja, which if you're like probably 98% of the population, you're like, who the fuck is that? And you know, he's made some movies, but none that have like blown up. I don't think. I know that he made High Tension, which is one of the kind of famous Fab Five French extremity films. Probably one of the lesser of the five, but it is a good movie. I like High Tension. He also made Crawl, the alligator movie. And I think he also made Piranha Double D, which if you like schlock, that's a good one. I like schlock. So it's basically about a guy who is kind of at the end of his rope. His world is already kind of fallen apart. But he's doing his best to salvage the little pieces, and he's trying to turn his life around to kind of get in the good graces of his wife again, so that they can kind of rekindle this connection. But I mean, in the movie, it looks like he is just trying to like their relationship is already, it's been incinerated, and he's just like trying to he's like running water on the ashes and trying to stick it back together like putty. But yeah, that's pretty much the gist of the movie. He becomes a night watchman at I'm not sure what it is. It's this place that burned down. I forget even what it's called. But it's a place with a lot of mirrors in it, and he kind of finds out the place has a dark history besides it burning down, and from there it's you ghosty supernatural shit that happens a lot in the movie. Um, Mm. Ice. So, what do I like about this movie? I guess that's a good place to start, right? As this is a review, not I drink whiskey and Coke out of a plastic poltergeist cup. That's right, whiskey and Coke. Not even, actually, whiskey and cola. Not even Jack and Coke. I can't afford Jack. I have Evan Williams, which is, by the way, for the uninitiated, Evan Williams is We Have Jack at Home. And it's actually not that. When I describe it like that, it sounds very unflattering, but it's $15 a bottle, and these lips aren't made for sucking, so I can't afford a $22 bottle or a $25 bottle every time I go and get whiskey. Um, I'm pretty sure that's what Jack Daniels is running nowadays. It's like $25 a bottle, ridiculous. But oh, and discount cola as well. But anyway, what do I like about the film? Well, actually, a lot about this movie is a lot more impressive than I had initially perceived, which, of course, as I said, I was a little inebriated. Uh, my perception definitely wasn't over the top at the time. Um, but one of the things that really pleasantly surprised me was Kiefer Sutherland. I didn't know he could act like that. Like I knew he was all right. Like I had seen The Lost Boys, of course. I don't think I've ever seen any other Kiefer Sutherland movie other than The Lost Boys, to be honest with you. I love The Lost Boys, but yeah, I don't know that I've ever seen him in anything else. Maybe I have, I just don't remember him. But he was fantastic in this movie. He actually gave like the I want to say the vibes, but he was really convincing. There we go. That's a less stupid way of saying that. Congratulations, me. He was really convincing as this guy whose life is kind of falling apart and he's trying to pick up the little pieces. He's kind of an alcoholic in the film. Well, he's a recovering alcoholic. He hasn't had a drink in 3 months. He's taking these pills. He's kind of like one jump scare away from a psychological break, and it kind of happens. But yeah, I think he's great in the movie. Everything, for the most part, everything that he does is pretty good. There's one thing about his performance that I'm not super fond of, and that's whenever he gets startled, whenever anything scary happens, he screams, and I'm not gonna mimic it because of how echoey it is in here. Your eardrums would bleed. You're welcome, by the way. I'm just a considerate fucking guy. But yeah, he does this like little all kind of down volume. It's like oh, and it's like a caveman discovering fire for the first time. Um, but yeah, I'm not a fan of that. Like, I guess it's realistic in a sense. You don't really have control of the sounds that come out of your body when you're being terrified. So I guess it's liable to sound pretty stupid when you're scared like that. But I don't know. It sounds goofy. It takes you a little out of it. I feel like that's a pretty nitpicky, a pretty little nit to pick, like little fucking microscopic, barely see it type shit nit that you pick. But continuing with the things that I like about this movie, it has a really interesting story. I wouldn't call it good per se. It's a pretty standard like ghost story. I don't know that I would consider. Well, it's not a ghost story. It's a story about some kind of entity, not really a ghost. But Quinn, come. Quinn, come. Good girl. Come here. We got a new dog. Also, my fiance and I. Her name is Quinn. And she's a good girl for the most part, but she wants to eat the ferrets. So I try and keep her away from the cage because she wants to eat them. Oh, honey. But anyway, yeah, it's an alright story for the most part. I do like the mystery elements and the intrigue that the film builds, and I like all of that. Speaking of the film building things, Bob the Builder, Alexander Aja the Builder, he is great at building tension, and that is something that's on full display in this movie. Um, this is arguably my favorite thing about the movie is his ability to build tension through shots of it. They're just like shots of mundane shit too. But the thing about the mundane shit is there's always a reflective surface in the shot. So there'll be, someone will be talking, and then over their shoulder you just kind of see a mirror. Over their shoulder you see the TV and you see how reflective it is. Over their shoulder you see a window and you see the reflections in the window. And that's fantastic because you're always looking over the shoulder to like see if you can see something in the mirror, because it's established that this thing can it's like a different dimension in the mirrors, and it can kind of move through that dimension to other mirrors. And so you're just constantly on the lookout for anything out of the ordinary. And yeah, I really love that. And great way of building tension in this movie. I think he knocked it out of the damn park as far as the tension. As far as the spooky stuff, the stuff that is spooky, it's standard for the most part. Yeah, well, is it standard? I guess it's not standard. It's a little more grisly than most movies are because, unlike a lot of movies, this movie was rated R. And I actually watched the unrated version, which I have to imagine is at least a little weensy bit gnarlier than the R-rated version. And the just standard spooky stuff you have. You do have some pretty good imagery. You have some burning people like in the mirror, and that doesn't look great as far as the effects used to accomplish that, because of CGI, and the CGI just isn't fantastic in this movie. But again, that's kind of a small thing that I think is kind of almost inherent in a movie from the time period. The CGI is not going to be spot on. I want to say this was the early 2010s. I want to say Mirrors came out in 2011. I'm probably wrong. Watch me be wrong. I'm a piece of shit. What can I say? Yeah, you have the burning bodies. You have this fantastic scene of I don't even know if I want to spoil the setting or even the slightest hint of what happens in the scene, because I want it to take you completely by surprise if you have not seen this film and if you watch the film. Just understand there's an amazing scene that involves some very visceral violence, and ample alliteration on that one. But yeah, that involves a lot of visceral violence, and that's probably the best imagery that you get in the movie. Other than, there is like creepy, kind of the stuff you would expect with a movie about mirrors, people's reflections not mimicking them, and like almost it looks like souls trying to escape the mirrors at one point, and a handprint on the mirror. All of that's good, and all of that's creepy. The score is, it's good. It's nothing to like write home about, I would say, but there are a couple of goofy things with this movie. As much as I do like it, hey Quinn, no. Lucio, come here, buddy. Okay, sorry about that. Quinn and Lucio don't always get along. Quinn wants to eat him too, for the most part. Anyway, Where was I? That must be so frustrating for you guys. I am so sorry, but I don't edit these videos because I would say that I don't have time to, but like it's 100% out of laziness. So fuck you guys. Um, but oh, where was I? The pacing. The pacing's good. I mean, it never feels slow to me. I think that everyone is gonna have different experiences with that specifically because everyone has different tolerances of like how slow something can be, or maybe you won't be as intrigued as I was. I was pretty in the mood to sit down and watch a good spooky horror movie. So I mean, maybe I was just a little more tolerant to the pacing. I don't think that's the case. I think the movie is paced pretty well. Um, but as far as a couple of goofy little things that I don't really like about the movie, and I would say that probably a lot of people, if you are critically thinking when you watch the movie, might not like. And it's really just about these inconsistencies as far as the rules in the movie. And maybe a lot of people wouldn't even notice something like that. And you're like, it's a ghost movie, dude. Just let your brain leak out of your ear. Well, you've been through this rodeo before. Okay, you've seen The Conjuring. You've seen The Ring. Just shut up and watch the movie. I'm sorry, I'm not going to do that. No. But as far as logical inconsistencies, there's one blaring one. Well, I guess a series of blaring ones, really, because in the opening scene, it's kind of clever in establishing the way that this entity works and the things that it has to do to manipulate you and to kill you eventually, and funnel fairy butterball. And like this guy is washing the mirror and the mirror cracks and a shard falls off, and I feel fine discussing this part of the movie because it's very early on and I don't feel like that's a spoiler. It's the opening of the movie. Shard falls off. He picks it up and he's like, I'm sorry. You can tell he's afraid of the mirror and he's trying to put it back in. But then his reflection starts not mimicking him and it starts slashing its own throat. And you can see the gash opening on his throat. So it's kind of suggested that the entity in the mirror has to have something in the reflection, like there has to be something out there for it to manipulate it in there. But that rule isn't always followed. I don't know. Maybe I'm just dumb and that's not an actual thing, but that seems like a thing. Like there's one scene where someone seems to get like pulled in to the mirror dimension, and that doesn't check out. Like if it can pull someone into the mirror dimension, wouldn't it be able to just hop out? Which is like one of the main things of the movie, like one of the points of the film, And actually, it's very fitting that I'm drinking from a poltergeist cup because that's also a thing in Poltergeist. The spirits want out of the spirit world. It's not a mirror world, it's a spirit world. But they want out. Same. I'm sorry. I'm just desperately grasping at straws. Not really. That is quite the striking similarity. Not a noteworthy one, and I probably should have just kept my mouth shut about it. But here we are. I didn't do that. So it has a lot of scenes where that kind of thing happens, and there aren't a ton of there aren't a ton of things that stay consistent as far as the logic in this movie. It doesn't seem to have any boundaries. It's just, it's spooky mirror thing, man. It can do what it wants. And you're just kind of like, I guess. All right. There's another part of the movie and this is probably the last point I'll address because this video has gone on for 20 minutes now. How do people make 10-minute videos? How do you do it? Do you just not ramble about stupid, pointless, meaningless bullshit? Is that what you do? Couldn't be me. But anywho, the biggest plot hole in the movie, I guess, and this one, it's kind of dumb, but at the same time, you can sort of understand it, but not really. Like, you're looking at it and you're like, if that was me, this is what I would do. And so there's a scene in the movie where they're like covering up mirrors, right? They're like painting over mirrors. They're just doing anything to cover the image. Because anywhere there's a mirror, there's danger. Okay? It's solid logic. That's a bold strategy, Cotton. Let's see if it pays off. And predictably, obviously, it doesn't, because then there wouldn't be a finale of the film. But hear me out. Instead of covering the mirrors, okay, maybe, possibly, okay, and it just might be a stretch. Yeah, you might be asking too much. Go camping for a couple of days, for Christ's sake. Take some fucking non-reflective water bottles and some black canteens. Go into the woods, nowhere near water. There's no reflective surfaces in the woods. Nothing. The closest you'll get is like a beer bottle that Billy Bob crushed out in the woods like 3 years ago, and by now it's all dingy and shit anyway, and you can't see any reflections in it. So why would you not just go camping for a few days till the whole thing blows over? That seems like the safest thing to me. And you might say, well, because cars have reflections and it could get to them in the car. I would say nay, nay. I said nay, nay. Because what's his face drove his car all the way to Pennsylvania earlier in the film. I'm pretty sure they're in New York. So I don't know how far Pennsylvania is. That's right. I don't know my geography. Or how to say geography, apparently. But if you can drive all the way to Pennsylvania, and it was rural Pennsylvania, by the way, he could have just taken the people that were in that scene and just like dropped them off in the woods. See you in a couple of days, guys. No? Okay. I'm being too logical. That's what it is. I'm being far too logical about that. But yeah, overall, the issues that I do have with the movie are pretty superficial and kind of like, I don't know. I don't know that I'd call plot holes superficial. It's not a masterpiece, of course. There are some problems with the acting. I mean, the child actors. Anytime you see child actors in a movie, they're going to be inconsistent. They're going to be, maybe a little shaky. But not really their fault. They're children. The little boy from Jessie is in this movie, and gee golly gosh willikers, that was not a good performance. But you know what? Like the Disney Channel show, Jessie. I just assumed you knew what I was talking about. Us grown adults that know of the Disney Channel show Jessie. It was out when I was a kid. Okay, I don't still watch the Disney Channel most of the time. But yeah, he had a pretty rough one in this movie. But like I said, he's a kid. The little girl, I think, was pretty okay for the most part, actually. But I digress. So at the end of the day, though, guys, I think I'm going to give this movie a 7 out of 10. I enjoyed it. I think it's a lot of fun. And hot take, okay? His take is as hot as those CGI burning people were in the mirror. I think this movie is a lot better than I don't know about better. A lot more entertaining than every other curse movie that came out in the 2000s. It's more entertaining than The Ring. It's more entertaining than The Grudge. It's more entertaining than Pulse, even though I don't think that's about a curse. It's more entertaining than Why am I drawing a blank? There's like 9,000 of them. Shutter sucks. Granted, I didn't see the Japanese original. I only saw the American remake, but I I think that this is probably the most entertaining one. So do with that what you will, I guess. But this video has gone on long enough, guys. I don't know if I'm going to start posting again more often or not. I hope I am. I'm actually feeling kind of reinvigorated and such, and I kind of want to. So, heck, maybe I will. Who knows? But anyway, guys, if you stuck with it to the end, I appreciate you. And I appreciate your face. I'm sure it's a beautiful face, a sensual face. Don't get scared. Uh, don't get scared. Just let me touch you. Anyway, I'll catch you guys on the next one. Probably not. I probably scared you all off.